My name is Ayan, and for 32 years I have been building a fortress. A fortress made of stone, of success, of a cold, unyielding silence. I built it to be safe. I built it to be a man. My father was a ghost of a man, broken by his own expectations. My mother, a saint in a gilded cage. I swore I would never be weak. I swore I would never be soft. I was a self-made man, a machine. And machines don't feel. But a machine is just a series of moving parts. It can be taken apart. It can be rewired. I just didn't know it yet. I didn't know a thing about the beautiful, chaotic, terrifying woman who was about to dismantle me, piece by piece. I remember the night everything started. It was 3 a.m, and I was standing in my penthouse in Karachi, looking out at the city that I had conquered. The city that I had given everything to. The city that I had sold my soul to. My phone was buzzing. My mother. Again. I couldn't answer it. I couldn't hear her voice, couldn't listen to her gentle pleas for me to come home, to get married, to be happy. Happy. What a joke. The truth was, I didn't know how to be happy anymore. I had forgotten. I had buried that part of myself so deep that I wasn't sure it still existed. I was a collection of habits, of routines, of calculated moves. I woke up at 5 a.m. I worked out for 2 hours. I went to the office. I made deals. I crushed competitors. I came home. I drank whiskey. I stared at the ceiling. I slept. And then I did it all again. I had everything. Money, power, respect. But I had nothing. I had no one. I hadn't let anyone close to me in years. My last relationship had been a disaster. A beautiful woman who wanted a husband, a house, a family. I wanted nothing. I wanted to be left alone. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't tell her that I was terrified of intimacy, of vulnerability, of being seen. So I pushed her away, like I pushed everyone away. But then came Zara. I met her in the most mundane way possible. In the elevator of the building we both lived in. I was coming back from the office, exhausted, my head pounding, my suit stifling me. And she was there, laughing on the phone, oblivious to the world, a whirlwind of color and noise and life. She was wearing a bright orange kurta with white embroidery. Her hair was wild, uncontained. She was beautiful, not in the conventional, polished way that I was used to, but in a way that was raw and real and completely, utterly alive. I remember standing there, stiff and uncomfortable, while she talked animatedly about fabric and fashion and some disaster that had apparently befallen her latest project. She was a designer. A fashion designer. Of course she was. She was everything I wasn't. I was gray. She was orange. I was controlled. She was chaos. And then she hung up and looked at me. Actually looked at me. Like she was seeing me. Not just the suit, not just the tired eyes, but me. And she said, "What? Some of us have a passion." It was a challenge. A dare. And I, the man who never backed down from anything, was completely, utterly intimidated. I said something cold and dismissive. I told her to conduct her personal life in private. I was protecting myself, putting up my walls. But she just laughed. She called me Mr. Grumpy Pants. And then she dropped her handkerchief. A delicate piece of silk with embroidered flowers. And I picked it up. I held it like it was contaminated. And she told me I could keep it. A souvenir. She said my life could use a little splash of color. A little softness. And then she was gone. I spent the rest of the night thinking about her. I couldn't help it. She had infiltrated my fortress without even trying. She had seen through my mask. She had called me out. And, the worst part, she was right. I was Mr. Grumpy Pants. I was a man who had forgotten how to smile. A man who thought a leather couch was a personality. A man who couldn't see the beauty in anything anymore. The next day, I went to the office. I did what I always did. I made deals. I crushed competitors. I was ruthless. I was efficient. I was a machine. But something was different. Something had shifted. I couldn't stop thinking about her. About the way she laughed. About the way she moved. about the way she had looked at me like she could see right through me. It was unsettling.
It was terrifying. It was exhilarating.
I saw her again a few days later, in a coffee shop. She was ordering some complicated drink with too many syllables and too much foam. I was getting my usual black coffee. She saw me and grinned. "Is that you?" The marble statue. She was so unapologetic, so free. She teased me. She mocked me. She called me a businessman. And then she told me she was a businesswoman of dreams. She created beauty. And she said I needed to learn how to smile. She was right. Again. I found myself gravitating toward her. I couldn't help it. It was like a moth to a flame. She was everything I had taught myself to hate. Chaotic. Emotional. Unfiltered. She didn't play the games that I played. She didn't wear the masks that I wore. She was just herself. Completely, unashamedly herself. And I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be free. I wanted to feel something other than this constant, crushing emptiness. So, I started going to her studio. I told myself it was just curiosity. Just a way to pass the time. But it was more than that.
It was a lifeline.
She was a lifeline. And I was drowning. Her studio was chaos. Beautiful, vibrant chaos. Mannequins in half-finished dresses. Swatches of fabric in every color imaginable. Threads and sketches and pins and needles everywhere. It was the opposite of my sterile, controlled world. And I loved it. I loved being there. I loved watching her work. I loved the way her hands moved, the way her eyes lit up when she talked about her designs. She would make me hold fabric. She would make me pass her thread. She would make me help her with her sketches. I was a CEO. I had people for this. But I didn't want people. I wanted her. I wanted to be near her. I wanted to be part of her world. And slowly, she started to change me. She made me loosen my tie. She made me smile. She made me laugh. She made me feel things that I had buried for so long. She made me remember what it was like to be human. But there was a price. The more time I spent with her, the more I realized that I had been living a lie. I had been pretending to be someone I wasn't. I had been pretending to be strong. But I wasn't strong. I was broken. I was damaged. I was a man who had spent his entire life running away from himself. And now I was caught. I started to have panic attacks. At night, alone in my sterile apartment, I would wake up gasping for air, my heart pounding, my mind racing. I would see her face. I would see my father's face. I would see the faces of everyone I had pushed away. And I would realize that I had nothing. That I was nothing. That all the money and power in the world couldn't fill the emptiness inside me. But I couldn't tell her that. I couldn't tell anyone. So I kept going. I kept pretending. I kept wearing the mask. I kept being the machine, even though I was falling apart. And then, one night, everything changed. I was at a gala. A fundraiser for some charity that I didn't care about. I was in my usual black suit. I was miserable. I was being cornered by an old family friend who was trying to set me up with his daughter. He was talking about marriage, about family, about the importance of having a wife. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But I couldn't. I was trapped. And then she appeared.
Zara.
In a stunning emerald green dress. She was magnificent. She looked like she belonged there, but she was also completely above it all. She saw me and walked over. She kissed me on the cheek. She put her arm through mine. She told the old family friend that she was stealing me away. She winked at him and led me across the room. "Are you okay?" she whispered. "You looked like you were about to have a breakdown." "Thank you," I said. "I don't know what I would have done without you." "Probably stood there until you died of boredom," she said. "Don't worry. I'm your exit strategy. You owe me one." She led me out of the gala, out into the night air. I took a deep breath. It was the first time I had felt okay in hours.
"Come on," she said.
"Let's go back to the studio. I'll make you tea. You look like you need it." I went with her. I followed her like a lost puppy, because I was lost. And she was the only one who could find me. Her studio was dark and quiet. She made tea. We sat on the floor, just like we had done so many times before. She looked at me with those piercing eyes of hers, and she asked me what was wrong. I couldn't speak. I couldn't find the words. And then she did something that changed everything. She reached out and took my hand. And she said, Ayan, you don't have to be strong all the time. You can break. You can cry. It doesn't make you a sissy. It makes you a survivor. It makes you a man with a heart. And I broke. I didn't cry. Not at first. I just sat there, trembling, my whole body shaking. All those years of holding everything in, of being strong, of being a machine, it all came crashing down. And I couldn't stop it. Let it out, she said softly. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
So I did.
I let it out. All of it. The fear.
The pain.
The loneliness. The years of pretending to be someone I wasn't. The years of running away from myself. It all came flooding out. And I cried. I cried like I hadn't cried since I was a child. And through it all, she held my hand. I'm sorry, I said, wiping my eyes. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have. Stop, she said firmly. Don't ever apologize for feeling. Don't ever apologize for being human. But I'm supposed to be strong, I said. I'm supposed to be a man. I'm supposed to. Supposed to what? She interrupted. Supposed to pretend that you don't have feelings? Supposed to be a robot? That's not strength, Ayan. That's cowardice. Real strength is being vulnerable. Real strength is letting people see who you really are. And the man I see right now is not a sissy. He's a warrior. A warrior who has been fighting alone for too long. And that's when I knew. That's when I realized that I was falling in love with her. I didn't say it. I couldn't say it. But it was there. A feeling. A warmth. A hope. For the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't alone. For the first time in years, I felt like someone actually saw me. The real me. The broken, damaged, vulnerable me. She stayed with me that night. We sat in her studio until the sun came up. We talked about everything and nothing. She told me about her dreams, her fears, her hopes. She told me about the pressure to get married, to settle down, to be a good girl. She told me how she had fought against all of that, how she had refused to let anyone else define her life. And I told her about my father, about the pressure to be strong, about the years of pretending, about the emptiness that had consumed me. You're not empty, she said. You just forgot how to feel. But you're learning again. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world. She leaned over and kissed me on the cheek. A soft, gentle kiss. And I felt something shift inside me. Something that had been locked away for so long. From that night on, everything changed. I started to open up. I started to let people in. I started to reconnect with my family.
My mother cried when she saw me.
She said I looked different. Happier. More like myself. And I was happier. For the first time in years, I was happy. But it wasn't easy. There were setbacks. There were moments when I wanted to retreat back into my fortress, back into the safety of my isolation. There were moments when I was afraid. Afraid of being hurt. Afraid of being vulnerable. Afraid of losing myself. But Zara was always there. She was patient. She was kind. She was understanding. She never pushed me. She never judged me. She just loved me. She loved me the way I was. She loved me the way I had always wanted to be loved. You know, she said one night, the thing about being a sissy is that society thinks it's a bad word. They think it means weak. But when I look at you, I don't see weakness. I see courage. I see a man who is brave enough to feel things. And that's not a sissy. That's just a human being. You changed me, I said. You changed everything. I didn't change you, she said. I just showed you who you really were. And she was right. She didn't change me.
She just showed me.
She showed me the man that I had always been, the man that I had been too afraid to let out, the man with the soft heart, the man with the gentle soul, the man who was never meant to be a machine. I used to think that being a man meant being hard. I thought it meant suppressing my emotions, denying my vulnerability, hiding my pain. I thought it meant being a fortress. But I was wrong. Being a man means being human. It means allowing yourself to feel. It means embracing all of who you are, even the parts that society tells you to hide. And now, looking back, I realize that I was never a sissy. I was always a warrior. A warrior who had been fighting the wrong battle. A warrior who had been fighting himself. But Zara showed me that the greatest battle I could ever fight was the battle to be myself. And I won. I won because I finally surrendered. I surrendered to love. I surrendered to vulnerability. I surrendered to the beautiful, chaotic, terrifying reality of being human. I know I told you this story differently before. I told you that I never meant to become a sissy, that I changed everything because of her. But that's not the whole truth. The whole truth is that I was always a sissy. I was always soft. I was always gentle. I was always kind. I had just forgotten. I had buried that part of myself so deep that I couldn't see it anymore. But Zara dug it up. She brushed off the dust. And she showed me that it was still there, that it had always been there.
So yes,
I never meant to become a sissy. But I'm glad I did. Because being a sissy isn't a weakness. It's a strength. It's the strength to feel, the strength to love, the strength to be vulnerable. And that's the strongest thing you can ever be. Now, I live my life differently. I laugh more. I cry more. I feel more. I let people in. I let myself be seen. I don't hide behind my walls anymore. Because I know now that walls don't protect you. They just trap you. They trap you in your own emptiness, your own loneliness, your own fear. I still have bad days. I still have moments when I want to retreat, when I want to shut down, when I want to be a machine again. But then I remember her. I remember her holding my hand. I remember her telling me that it was okay to break. I remember her showing me what it meant to be human. And I realized that I can get through anything, that I have the strength, that I always had the strength. Zara is my person. She's my partner. She's my best friend. She's my everything. And I know that sounds cheesy. I know it sounds like something out of a movie. But it's real. It's the most real thing I've ever known. We're planning our wedding now. A small, intimate ceremony with just our closest friends and family. She's designing her own dress, of course. It's going to be stunning. She's going to be stunning. And I'm going to be standing there, the luckiest man in the world, thanking the universe for bringing her into my life. My parents are happy. My mother loves her. My father is learning to let go of his old ways. He's learning that strength doesn't mean being hard. He's learning that vulnerability isn't weakness. He's learning, like I learned, that being a man means being human. And the funny thing is, I still use her handkerchief. The one she dropped in the elevator. I carry it with me everywhere. It's a reminder. A reminder of the day everything changed. A reminder of the woman who showed me how to be myself. A reminder of the man I never meant to become, but the man I'm so grateful I finally am. So if you're reading this, if you're out there feeling like you have to be strong all the time, like you can't let anyone in, like you have to hide who you really are, I want you to know something. I want you to know that you don't have to do it alone. I want you to know that it's okay to be soft. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be a sissy. Because being a sissy isn't a weakness. It's a strength. It's the strength to be yourself in a world that wants you to be something else. It's the strength to love. The strength to feel. The strength to live. I never meant to become a sissy. But I did. And it changed my life. It can change yours too. Before Zara, before the change, there was the life I had built. The life I thought I wanted. The life that was slowly killing me. I grew up in a household where emotions were a luxury we couldn't afford. My father was a self-made man. He had risen from nothing to build a successful business. He was respected,
feared,
adored, and completely, utterly unavailable. He loved us. I know he did, but he didn't know how to show it. He didn't know how to be soft. He didn't know how to hug. He didn't know how to say, I love you. He thought providing for us was enough. He thought being strong was enough. He thought keeping his emotions locked away was the right thing to do. And my mother was a saint. She was patient. She was kind. She was understanding. She loved my father unconditionally, even when he couldn't love her back the way she deserved. She was the softness in our home, the warmth, the light, but she was also trapped. Trapped in a marriage where she couldn't be herself. Trapped in a life where she had to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect woman.
She didn't complain. She didn't fight.
She just existed, waiting,
Hoping.
praying that one day, things would be different. They never were. When I was 15, I watched my father break down for the first time. I had come home early from school. I walked in on him crying, in his study, surrounded by papers and bills and all the weight of the world.
I had never seen him like that.
I had never seen him show any emotion other than anger. He saw me. He looked at me with these broken eyes. And he said, "Don't ever let them see you cry, son. Don't ever let them see you weak.
Be a man.
Be strong. Be a machine." I took those words to heart. I didn't cry after that. Not in front of anyone. I buried everything. The pain, the fear, the sadness. I buried it so deep that I forgot it was there. I became what he wanted me to be.
A man.
A machine. A fortress. And it worked. It worked for years. I built a successful career. I made a fortune. I had everything I could ever want. But I was empty. Hollow. A shell of a person. My relationship suffered. I pushed everyone away. I dated, but I never let anyone get close. I was always in control. Always distant. Always cold. I hurt people. Good people. People who deserved better than what I could give them. I told myself it was for the best. I told myself that I was protecting them from myself. I told myself that I wasn't capable of love, that I wasn't worthy of love, that I was broken beyond repair. I was wrong. I was so wrong. When I met Zara, I was at my lowest point. I was successful on paper. But inside, I was falling apart. I was drinking too much, sleeping too little, working myself to exhaustion. I was a machine that was breaking down. And then she walked into my life. Or rather, I walked into her life. Into her studio. Into her world. She was everything I wasn't. She was open.
Honest.
Fearless. She didn't play games. She didn't wear masks. She was just herself. And that terrified me, because I had spent my whole life being anything but myself. I didn't trust her at first. I didn't trust anyone. I assumed she had an agenda. I assumed she wanted something from me. My money. My status. My connections. I had been burned before. I had been used before. I was cynical, jaded, broken. But she didn't want anything from me. She just wanted me.
The real me.
The me I had hidden for so long. I fought it. I fought her. I pushed her away. I told myself that I didn't need her, that I didn't need anyone. But the walls were crumbling. The fortress was falling. And she was the one who was bringing it down. The night I broke down in her studio, I thought it was the end. I thought she would see me for what I really was and walk away. I thought I had finally pushed her too far. But she didn't walk away.
She stayed.
She held my hand. She told me that it was okay. She told me that I didn't have to be strong all the time. She told me that I could break, that I could cry, that I could be a sissy. And in that moment, I realized that I loved her. Not because she fixed me, not because she saved me,
but because she saw me, the real me.
And she didn't run away. That's when the transformation began. Not a single moment.
Not a single event.
But a slow, gradual unfurling. Like a flower opening to the sun. Like a machine learning to feel. I started to let go. I started to let people in. I started to reconnect with my family. I started to laugh. I started to cry. I started to live. It wasn't easy.
There were setbacks.
There were moments when I wanted to retreat. Moments when I was afraid. Moments when I didn't think I could do it. But Zara was always there. Patient.
Kind.
Unwavering. She believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. She loved me when I couldn't love myself. And slowly I started to love myself. I started to accept myself. I started to see that I was worthy of love. That I was deserving of happiness. That I wasn't broken beyond repair. I used to think that vulnerability was a weakness. I used to think that showing emotion was a sign of failure. I used to think that being a man meant being hard, unyielding, unfeeling. I was wrong.
So wrong.
Vulnerability is strength. Showing emotion is courage. Being a man means being human. And being human means embracing all of who you are, even the parts that society tells you to hide. I'll never forget the first time I told Zara I loved her. We were on a beach. The sun was setting. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink and gold. It was perfect. She was perfect. And I couldn't hold it in anymore. I love you, I said. She didn't say anything at first. She just looked at me. Her eyes were shining. Her lips were curved into that beautiful smile of hers. I know, she said. I've known for a while. I was just waiting for you to say it. I was scared, I admitted. I was scared to let myself feel. I was scared to let you in. I know, she said again. But you did it anyway. You let me in. And that's the bravest thing you've ever done. She leaned in and kissed me.
Soft.
Gentle. Full of promise. And in that moment, I knew that everything was going to be okay. That I was going to be okay. That we were going to be okay. Now, I live differently. I wake up every morning, and I don't dread the day ahead. I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing her, to talking to her, to being with her. I still run the company. I still make deals and close negotiations. But I do it differently now. I do it with a heart, with compassion, with empathy. I'm still a businessman, but I'm also a human being. My employees have noticed the change. They tell me I seem happier, more approachable, more real. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know that it's genuine. I'm not pretending anymore. My parents have noticed too. My mother cried when she saw me. She said I looked like the boy I used to be. The boy before the walls went up. The boy before the machine was built. My father didn't say much. He never does. But I could see it in his eyes.
Pride.
Regret. A longing for something he had lost. I hope he finds it someday. I hope he can learn, like I learned, that it's okay to be soft. That it's okay to feel. That it's okay to be a sissy. Zara and I are planning our wedding. It's going to be small. Just family and close friends. She's designing her own dress. It's going to be beautiful. She's going to be beautiful. I'm going to be standing at the altar, looking at her, and I'm going to be the luckiest man in the world. Because I found her. Because she found me. Because we found each other. I used to think that love was a weakness. I used to think that letting someone in was a risk I couldn't afford. I used to think that I was better off alone. I was wrong. Love is the greatest strength there is. Letting someone in is the bravest thing you can do. And being alone is a prison. A prison that I built for myself. A prison that she helped me escape. So if you're out there, reading this, feeling like you're alone, feeling like you have to be strong all the time, feeling like you can't let anyone in, I want you to know that you're wrong. You're wrong about all of it. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to hide who you really are.
You can let people in.
You can be vulnerable. You can be soft. You can be a sissy. And it will be the best thing you ever do. The journey doesn't end here. It never ends. Every day is a new challenge. Every day is a new opportunity to grow, to learn, to become more of who I really am. Zara is still my teacher. She still challenges me. She still pushes me. She still makes me better. And I love her for it. I love her for everything. We argue sometimes. Of course we do. We're human. We're not perfect. But we always find our way back to each other. We always remember that we're on the same team. We're fighting the same fight.
The fight to be ourselves.
The fight to be free. The fight to love and be loved. Some days are harder than others. Some days I wake up feeling like the old me, the machine, the fortress. I feel the walls creeping back up. I feel the desire to retreat, to protect myself, to shut down. But then I look at Zara. I see her sleeping beside me. I see her face, peaceful and beautiful. And I remember why I'm doing this. I remember what's at stake. I'm fighting for myself, for my freedom, for my future. I'm fighting for us. And I will never give up. Not as long as I'm alive. Not as long as I have breath in my body. I never meant to become a sissy, but I did. And it changed everything. It changed my life. It changed my world. It changed me. And I wouldn't have it any other way. There are so many lessons I've learned from this journey. So many things I wish I had known years ago. So many things I want to share with others who might be struggling. The first lesson is that vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength. It is the courage to let people see you, the real you, the messy, imperfect, broken you. And when you do that, when you let people in, you create space for real connection, real love, real intimacy. The second lesson is that you are not alone. You may feel alone. You may feel like no one understands. But there are people out there who do. There are people out there who can help. You just have to be brave enough to reach out.
To ask.
To accept. The third lesson is that it's never too late to change. You can always start over. You can always become someone new. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by what you choose to do right now in this moment. The fourth lesson is that love is the answer. Not romantic love, necessarily, but love in all its forms. Compassion, empathy, kindness. These are the things that make life worth living. These are the things that give it meaning. The fifth lesson is that being a sissy is not a bad thing. Society may tell you otherwise. Society may tell you that you need to be tough, strong, unyielding. But society is wrong. Being soft is a superpower. Being vulnerable is a gift. And being true to yourself is the most important thing you can ever do. I wish I had learned these lessons sooner. I wish I hadn't spent so many years running away from myself. But I can't change the past. I can only learn from it. And I can only try to do better now. That's what I'm doing. Trying to do better. Every single day. I don't know what the future holds. None of us do. But I'm excited to find out. Because I know that whatever happens, I won't be facing it alone. I'll have Zara by my side. I'll have the love and support of my family and friends. And I'll have myself. The real me. The person I was always meant to be. We want to have children someday. I can't wait to be a father. I want to be the kind of father my father couldn't be. I want to show my children that it's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be soft. I want to break the cycle. I want to teach them that being a man doesn't mean being a machine. It means being human. Zara and I talk about it often. We talk about the kind of family we want to build. The kind of life we want to create. We dream together. We plan together. We build together. It's beautiful. So beautiful. I never thought I could have this. I never thought I deserved this. But I do. We all do. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to be free. So if you're out there reading this and you're struggling, please don't give up. Please keep fighting. Please keep hoping. Because it gets better. I promise you, it gets so much better.
Epilogue.
It's been 5 years since I met Zara. 5 years since she changed everything. 5 years since I became the person I was always meant to be. We're married now. We have a beautiful daughter named Aisha. She's 2 years old. She's the light of my life. She's already as vibrant and fearless as her mother. I look at her, and I see the future. I see hope. I see possibility. I know that the world will try to shape her, to mold her, to tell her who she's supposed to be. But I won't let it. I'll teach her that she can be whoever she wants to be, that she doesn't have to fit into anyone else's expectations, that she can be soft, strong, vulnerable, fearless, all at the same time. I'll teach her that being a sissy is a superpower. I'll teach her to be herself. I never meant to become a sissy, but I did. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm so grateful. Grateful for Zara. Grateful for my family. Grateful for the life I have. Grateful for the man I've become. I used to think I was a machine. I used to think I was nothing. I used to think I was beyond saving. But I was wrong. I was always a man. A man with a heart. A man with a soul. A man with the capacity to love and be loved. I just had to let myself feel it. And I did. And it changed everything.